Hey guys, Carlos over at BearBootTraders.com, and here's my recap for today. I had two trades, one on AMD and one on Big. Let's start with the one on Big. So we had this from our watch list. Here's our watch list from this morning. A lot better stocks than we had yesterday on our pre-market watch list. But today Big was on there and Big popped up. It was very weak. It was down about 18% when we were watching it. And then here, Andrew calls it out for a short at this area. Now, I did like this stock for a short. I wanted to break the VWAP, but I was hesitant to get in before it actually went below the VWAP. So that was my hesitation. But when Andrew called it out, I said, you know what, he could see something that I'm not seeing, so I jumped in as well. I set my stop loss around this area here because I knew it had to give it some room. So in doing that, I definitely took less shares. I only took about 200 shares because this stock can move a lot, right? This is my entry was 336, as you can see here. And this over here, you have to give at least 30 cents room to get up here. So I gave it enough room to move. Again, my risk was here. My reward was here. So not great. That's a 1-to-1. You want to look for, 1-to-2. Yes, possibly could have went to the low of the day, but I was not counting on that right away when I am analyzing my risk. There's a better possibility of it getting here than getting down here. So it was a 1-to-1 risk, but again, if you look at our class 5 risk management, you know that you can still make money if you're a consistent trader with a 1-to-1 risk. Okay, not the best, but again, you could still be profitable if you take proper setups. So I got in here, started chopping around. It looked weak, but it didn't want to lose this VWAP, and then it popped up here really fast. This happened so fast and right back down. Now what happens is it pops up all the way up here, and then it starts dropping again. This happened really fast. I mean, if the only way you would have gotten stopped out if you had a stop loss, let's say here, was if you had a hard stop order, because this just went up and right back down. And this is why sometimes I like to use mental stops, because sometimes the price action can get to your stop, and it does something like this where you would have been out of this great trade. If you had a hard stop anywhere around here, you'd have been completely out. Drops below the VWAP. It starts again, just tons of pressure building up here. So I knew a crack was going to happen one way or the other. I was more biased towards the downside because it just kept selling off. So it did crack. As soon as the next candle happened, I took the order out because I took a half of the trade out, half of my shares, because I figured from here it can bounce back, since I was expecting this candle to have a bigger leg down. Took half off just to be safe. Then it does this real nice drip, and I just regretted taking half off. Obviously, we all say that after the fact. Took some profits off here, and if you can see in the 5-minute chart, took some off here, then took some at the low of the day. I still have not much, 29 shares on here, and I'm hoping to get to 39. I would have got out already, but since I'm hanging around doing some other stuff, I'm watching this trade on my side screen. Again, for the P&L, again, it's not much for 29 units, but the most important thing here is managing risk. So I only took 213 units, right? With 213 units, you can make a good profit if you trade this proper setups, right? You can make good profit. So again, only 29 units, but that's 66 bucks. So you got to think about how much can I lose when you decide how many shares you're going to take. If I take 500, 1,000 shares here, this pullback here will be, it'll be torture right here, going back and forth with a lot of shares. So manage your risk properly, set your stop loss where you need it to be at, and then just let the rest ride out, and then just manage the price action. Then on AMD was a little different, and I don't want to make this video too long, but I do want to go over AMD because it was the opposite. AMD, I had an entry here. I wanted to wait for the 935 candle, but when I was watching this trade, I actually took this trade first before the big trade. Right on here, I knew I had to get in. I'm like, this is the pullback that I'm looking for. This is the pullback that I'm waiting for. Right to VWAP. This is the perfect entry. I need to jump in here now. But I followed my rule of waiting for 935, and in doing so, I got in 934 because I figured, you know what, this is it. If I don't get into this next pullback, I'm not gonna have a good entry. So I jump in. It does a nice drop here. I take some profits off. I take some off here. And then here in this pullback, I did not survive this pullback because it was too close to my break-even point. And once I take profits out, one hard rule I have is I don't let it go past my break-even point. So I took the rest out here. And then if you look at the 5-minute chart, it does this beautiful drop. It just continues to drop down. So this could have been an amazing trade. But again, it's all about an entry. So I didn't get my entry here on this setup. And Andrew talks about this. He talks about this. A lot of great setups happening at between the 3 and 5 minute mark. This was my signal here. I missed it. Again, I just froze. I'm getting into that perfect entry there that I have taken before in the past, and it has played out well. So, but overall, a good day. Hope everyone else had a green day and a good trading day. Have a great weekend, guys, and I will see you next week in the pre-market show. Again, pre-market show starts at 8:30 Eastern time. So hope to see you there. Bye.